CBC's Juanita Taylor joins us live now from Yellowknife. Juanita, let's talk about the situation there and the state of emergency. And just behind you, you can really see the smoke in the air too. So give us a sense of what it's like on the ground.
Yeah, Hannah, well, it's going to be another challenging day for firefighters in the Northwest Territories and their crews. I mean, it's been a challenging situation for the past few weeks, but it's really intensifying now. And that is because of the wildfires that are still out of control burning in the Northwest Territories. And so much so that, as you mentioned, Hannah, the government of the Northwest Territories has declared a territorial state of emergency for the Northwest Territories. They did that late afternoon yesterday. And just to note on that, Hannah, on Tuesday, the territory said that it had all the resources that it needs to fight the fires. But that, of course, is changing and changing rapidly. And that is because of the intense wildfire that is happening here in the Northwest Territories. It is worsening. So, Hannah, just a bit of background on that declaration and what that allows the government of the Northwest Territories to do. It allows them to call on resources very quickly. Things like companies who have heavy equipment that can be used to help fight these firefighters if they get too close to any communities. It's also allowing them to call on airlines to help transport people out of communities, and it can also ask hotels to accommodate evacuees. So, Hannah, as you mentioned, the smoke behind me here in Yellowknife, you can see it clearly. 6:30, when I got up this morning, I looked out my window, it was worse than this. It was thick, and that comes and goes over the last few days because of the direction of the wind, of course. Right now, the wind is sort of pushing it away, but we are expecting stronger winds today, and that is why the firefighters are going to be having more of a challenging day today. Now, the city of Yellowknife has, as you mentioned, has issued an evacuation alert for about 400 people who live in the west side of the city, and that was issued yesterday as well.
Yeah, it was issued yesterday, and it kind of changed later in the day. We had a chance to speak with the mayor. What's the plan in the event of an evacuation order?
That's right. So, yes, just to be clear, once again, that is an evacuation alert for folks in the west side of Yellowknife. And if that alert changes to an order, the City of Yellowknife's Director of Planning and Development says that those 400 people should all fit here at the city's multiplex. There is also a field house just next door here where people are going to be able to evacuate to. Now, both buildings have the capacity for about 630 cots. And Hannah, of course, this can cause people a lot of stress, a lot of worry. And what some Northerners are doing is what Northerners do best. They reach out to each other in times like this. And we spoke to a psychologist yesterday from Hay River, one of the communities that actually is under an evacuation order and that has actually evacuated to different parts of Alberta. But that psychologist from Hay River, he is offering his services for free for people. Take a listen to what John Hunt said to the CBC yesterday.
Some people, are in shock, horror, numbness, disbelief. Others in anxiety, uncertainty, living on the edge. Like sounds of sirens or helicopters, phone alerts. I mean, that's all alarming, right? And nervous system overwhelmed. People are activated. I mean, this is our third evacuation in about a year and a half. So people are just generally at their thresholds.
And just to add to that, Hannah, the City of Yellowknife, as well as the Territorial government, is urging people to stay calm. Given the situation where it is worsening in the Northwest Territories, they are urging to stay calm and to look to reliable sources for information. Now, as for the other 5 communities in the Northwest Territories, that includes Fort Smith, Jean Marie River, Hay River, Enterprise, and the N.W.T First Nation, they remain under an evacuation order. And as we know, Hannah, the town of Enterprise has been heavily destroyed. About 85 to 90% of the town of Enterprise, we know, has been destroyed by the wildfire. And most of these people from these 5 communities, they have all evacuated to places, different places in Alberta. Hannah?
Yeah, very sad. Juanita, let me just ask you personally, what are you hearing from people on the ground there?
I'm hearing from some people on the ground here that they are cautiously worried about the city of Yellowknife's evacuation plan. What it is exactly, the details to that, there hasn't been too much details released just yet. I'm also hearing from people that a lot of them actually are leaving the city today, Hannah. In fact, a lot of people are at the airport right now. We have a camera there that is gathering visuals of the situation there right now, the scene right now. And what's also interesting to note about that, Hannah, is that people who are trying to book flights out of Yellowknife to go south on Air Canada, well, those ticket prices have shot way up. So folks are trying to leave town as well as by road. Sometimes the highway, there's one highway in and out of Yellowknife to go south. That one highway, it closes and it opens depending on the wildfire situation along the highway, depending on the winds. And so it changes all the time. So people who are leaving on the highway, they are being asked to prepare in case they need to be stopped for some time. And as well, not just those folks who are leaving, but people here in Yellowknife as well as in other communities that are being impacted by wildfires, they are being told to be ready in case they too get an evacuation alert that could result in an evacuation order. Hannah?
Okay, Juanita Taylor, thank you for your reporting on the ground in Yellowknife.